Okay, hi everybody. We are going to start our meeting today. The Meridian Arts Commission's mission is to develop, advance, and nurture all facets of the arts to enhance the quality of life for Meridian residents and its visitors. Today is January 9th. It is 3:32 and I'll go ahead and take roll. Lizzie Taylor?
Here.
Bridget King is not here today. Sean Muscolo.
Here.
Brecken Bird, I'm here. Crystal Paulson is not here yet. Hopefully she'll join us later. Patrick O'Leary. Bobby Gaytan.
Here.
Soyun Song. Vasil Ivanov.
Here.
Good, Vasil's here. Okay, great. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Sean moves to adopt the agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Lizzie Taylor seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let's move on to the approval of minutes from last meeting, November 14th, 2024. Do we have any questions? Otherwise, can we get a motion to approve that?
Madam Chair, so moved.
Lizzie Taylor moves. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Patrick seconds. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Let's move on to the approval of the monthly financial statement. Does anybody have questions, or can we get a motion to approve that statement?
Madam Chair, so moved.
Lizzie Taylor moves. Do we
I
have a
just had
second?
one
Oh,
question.
Patrick, yeah.
Oh, that's just the 9866. What's that for?
That is for the traffic boxes that were completed just this past year. So the fiscal year starts in October 1, and so those were installed and completed this year.
All right, great. I think we probably need to do another motion to approve that.
Madam Chair, actually, you need a second and then discussion. So I think you're okay. There's a motion on the floor.
Oh, okay. So just,
You actually need to second it,
Yeah.
and then the mover can amend the motion, the movant, and then the seconder can agree to that. So you need first the
okay.
second. Sorry, it's complicated.
Second.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we
Okay.
have a second, and then
So then I'm sorry, who made the motion the first time?
Lizzie
Lizzie.
Taylor
Okay.
motioned.
So Lizzie can amend her motion to, I mean, if that represents a change, to make that change.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, so moved, taking into consideration the change that was made in the question that was answered by Patrick.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I think that. Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
And I'm sorry, did Patrick was the second? Did he said okay? He
Sean
agrees
was
with
the
the amendments?
second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sean would have to
Sean
agree
Muscola
to
was
the,
the second.
Aye.
Yeah, dude. Okay, sorry. Great.
okay. Now you can vote.
I think we did that right.
As long as
You
you
gotta
vote,
keep
you
on
gotta,
your toes in the new year, Emily.
that's right. Did you vote?
Thank you,
Maybe I'm
Emily.
not. Did you vote?
Room full of artists, right?
Did we do that right?
So Brecken, did you vote?
Yeah, we voted. All in
Okay,
favor.
Okay,
Can go again.
okay,
Aye.
thanks.
Any opposed? And I voted, yeah, aye. All right, we can move on to some reports. We will have a presentation, it looks like, from Hayden Smith and Cindy Anderson on the new public art GSI map. So I'll turn it over. GIS. Dyslexia.
And Madam Chair and Commissioners, I just want to introduce Hayden a little bit. So he is newer with the city. He's a GIS analyst GIS is Geographic Information Systems, right? We sometimes use acronyms so often that we forget what they mean. But it's the mapping system. So I think all of you have hopefully visited our prior public art site, although I think we have that pulled up if you have questions about that. But Hayden has been working really hard on an update to that website that I think we're potentially close to being able to launch. And I just want to give him some major kudos and thanks for all the work that he's done on this before he even gets to present it.
And I am just here for moral support. I'm the GIS manager.
You all for letting me present this to you. Super excited to share it with you. I've been working. Oh. Hello? Okay. No, I just to share. Okay. So yeah, thank you all for letting me share this with you. Me and Cassandra have been working very hard on nailing this down and making it look good. And so let me minimize this real quick. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, I guess that worked. Is this sort of intrusive, the sharing bar? Can you still see the?
Looks good on my end.
Oh, okay, it's not on your screen. Interesting. Okay, so this is just the landing splash page we have for the new public art map. You'll notice on the left here, we just have a short blurb at the beginning. The first part just tells you that you can click on any of the boxes over here to get started. The first one is just all the public art, murals, sculptures, traffic boxes, transit shelters. So if you click on any of those, it brings you to that page on the map. We did this little write-up down here, just explaining the maps ordinance. And below that, it's just some handy related links, contacts, anything you need there, and the city logo. And so to get started, I'll just choose traffic boxes just because we have so many great ones. So you click on that and it takes you right to the map there. And you'll notice this is all the traffic boxes mapped out, and you can click on any of them. It'll bring up a little pop-up with the information out there, or you'll notice it automatically scrolled the list on the left to bring it up here. Oh, I made it go away. That's fine. And then you can click on that and it'll pop up the full screen image in case you're interested in the piece of art. You'll notice that automatically zooms it to where it's located in the city of Meridian. And you'll also notice that all the other ones disappeared. That's just because it's dynamic to where you actually are in the city. So those start popping up. And if you scroll, it'll just go to what's around you, which is sort of handy. Or you can do the find my location and it'll show you what's around you there. And you can always click the home button to just go back to the full city view. So if you want, you can just scroll through all these. If you click on one of them on the sidebar, it also zooms it into the map as well, which is kind of handy. And then at the top here, you'll notice there's sculptures, so that just brings you to the other tab. So it just has the same thing, all the art on the left there. You can scroll around, it'll do all that for you. Transit shelters, murals, and then we added a tab that has all of it, just in case you're curious. And I forgot to mention, these ones are sorted by date, so they're just most recent. But the all public art one is just everything in alphabetical order in case you have a particular piece in mind and want help finding it. You can just go down the list here and it should be pretty easy to see. And then if someone wants to just go back to the splash page, you can just click the City of Meridian logo and it brings you right back to the beginning. Any questions or concerns?
Thank you, Hayden. This is
Wonderful.
really cool.
Thank you
This is
guys.
going to be a great resource.
Appreciate it.
For the traffic boxes, will you be able to, or do you guys talk about identifying where traffic boxes are that haven't been covered or
Madam Chair and
Arted?
Commissioners, I can take that. That's not something that GIS would handle.
Okay.
That's the Public Art Committee, and I also work with planning. I'll reach out to one of our planners to sort of look at, are there new lights that have been installed or something? Because we are actually, and any of you, if you see traffic boxes that don't have any artwork on them, we're starting to run out of unwrapped boxes, although we are rewrapping boxes. And so we have someone that goes out annually that checks each one for like cracking, peeling, fading. And then based on that report, we are starting to see quite a few of them that are, it's time to replace, but so we do it that way, kind of looking at the planning map and working with planning and within the Public Art Committee, sort of prioritizing them.
will those be, would they be replaced with art from the original that was there, or would it be another call to artists?
It's replaced by new ones, by the new West Data School District in particular. We always pick 5 from that show. So we kind of have an incoming 5 each year, and then the professional boxes that we add. So
I might have scrolled.
And I have one more question. So are we doing some sort of social media outreach on this new feature on the City of Meridian website? Like plan your weekend, or something like that?
We'll be adding this to the Meridian page, but the actual social media itself is.
marketing would be on my end. Yes, we will.
Oh,
do that.
okay. Oh, fabulous. Okay.
And yeah, I might have scrolled past it really quick, but at the
Exciting.
beginning, those links down there, it's just the call to artists, the initial point gallery, and then the actual arts commission, and then the front page. So just all that in one place.
Fabulous. Looks very attractive.
Thank you.
Very attractive.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Hayden and Cindy, for moral support. You did great. No, that's wonderful. I'm so excited about that. That'll help a lot more people know where our public art is.
I could also say that if you guys notice anything that needs improved, talk to Cassandra and she can convey that to us and it'll get updated and corrected.
Great,
So.
perfect. Thank you. All right, we can move on to Lizzie Taylor, who will give us an update on Initial Point Gallery.
Happy New Year, everybody. Good to see everybody again. Initial Point Gallery has made tremendous strides over the last year. We are becoming, I say we as if it's an animate object, we are becoming very, very popular and well-known in the community. The current exhibit, which is done by TVAA, which is Treasure Valley Artists Alliance, is called Midnight Metaphor. The opening was what seems like a year ago. It was on the 3rd of December. There were, pardon me, over 50 people. It was well attended. I would not say incredibly well attended, but nicely attended. And there was an additional artist panel event last night at the gallery, which in a few minutes I will ask Sean to give an overview of. The upcoming exhibit is called Inverted Reality, with the artists that you see listed on the meeting agenda that I don't really have to read. Okay. The next one will, wait a second. All right, the next one will be hosted by Vasil. Vasil, are you there? You're there someplace.
I am,
Okay.
yes, thank you.
On Tuesday, February 4th. All right. During November and the early part of December, I had the pleasure of giving presentations on Initial Point Gallery. They were short presentations. They were peppy. I had the pleasure of giving presentations to various Meridian commissions, including Parks and Rec, Historic Preservation, Planning and Zoning. And in the instance of one, they didn't know exactly who I was. They didn't really know my name. They didn't know kind of what I was doing there or how I got there. But we got that all taken care of. The presentations were done usually about 5 minutes. And I think there were 9 people at each meeting, so that's a whole lot of ears and eyes that got to know about Initial Point that might not have known about it before. Then in December, Cassandra and I hosted an informal gathering of about 20 members of, pardon me, the Boise Camera Club, which was, they were extremely interested. And I understand, Cassandra, correct me if I'm wrong, that you have already been contacted by a couple of representatives from the Camera Club who are interested in submitting applications to exhibit at IPG.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Taylor, yes, that's correct. They actually came today and they had questions about the hooks and about the opening receptions and some of the logistics, but I think they are definitely going to apply.
Excellent. So like I said, Initial Point has made and continues to make very good strides in the community. Okay, Sean, would you be kind enough, please, to give us a recap of the artist, what was it?
Treasure Valley
The
Artist
the-
Alliance.
The
Meeting
TVAA artist
and
panel
talk.
event last night.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks.
Sure. The Treasure Valley Artist Alliance had their meeting, which was a short meeting. They did a few, Leslie J. Bosch, their president, called that to order around 5:30. They had all their members vote on whatever the issues were. And then just about immediately, I think their meeting lasted about 10 minutes. And then they introduced John McMahon, an Idaho Arts Commission on the Arts Artist Services Director, and Meg Glasgow from Finer Frames. She talked about common framing mistakes. Her talk was based on things that she sees go wrong: poor choices, poor frame style, bad glass, tape mistakes, backings, hardware errors, and what you could do, what she sees that goes wrong, and what you could do to make it right with for your art. And you know, how a bad frame could detract or even damage a piece of art. And then we had Laurel Rao from Capitol Contemporary Gallery. She talked about an artist doing their own marketing and presentation considerations. For example, portfolio size, the consistency of the artist's vision, the content of their portfolio. Also, she talked about artist statements, their bios, CV, and spent quite a lot of time on the quality of their photographs, their website, which she feels that is really obligatory for an artist, and also social media. She talked about how to work with galleries, how to do some research on what the gallery is going to like and what they might not like in your work, and how to make an appointment, show us all a small selection of your best work, and also talked a little bit about pricing consistency. For example, from your website to a gallery, you know, being consistent on price. So that was very well received by the TVAA members and everyone else who showed up. I think we expected maybe 25 or so, and we ended up with more than double that number. So it was very exciting. And then afterwards, there was a previously submitted question Q&A and a random Q&A from the audience. So very well received. So that, I think, is the entire summary. Any questions?
Very, very much, Sean. That was very well presented. Thank you.
Can
Yeah,
I
and
cover the kids
Oh, yeah.
event a little bit? So we kind of did a trial run on the art search idea, which was new for us. We haven't had that in the gallery before, I don't think. We had some clipboards. The kids got a half a sheet to write answers to some questions about the TVAA Midnight Metaphor exhibit specifically. So apparently, 6 children showed up at the exhibit, and all 6 of them wanted to participate in this. And for their trouble, they got a little sticker. That was, you know, the entire gift, but kept them busy, kept them from doing cartwheels in the gallery. So that was a good thing. And, you know, I don't know whether we would like to do this permanently, but I don't really see a downside to it. I didn't see, nothing went wrong with it, right? Everything went well.
Oh, Sean, commissioners, I I was there to witness, and I, didn't think much of it. I thought it was a good idea, but I didn't know how it was gonna go. I will say I was pleasantly surprised, and I felt like the kids that were there were a lot more engaged with the artwork than they might have been. They walked around, looked at all the pieces, filled out all the questions. I think it was 7 children that filled out. And then Cassie said that there had been a couple more as the show has progressed, um, but yeah, I thought it was great, and it wasn't high maintenance or anything like that. I think it's just gonna depend on if we have resources for like little prizes and stuff, and if Cassandra, and if you're still willing to write questions, Sean, for that. But I thought it was great. Yeah.
Anything negative about it at all? Anything we shouldn't do again or something that went wrong? No?
Madam Chair and Commissioners, did want to say, I can admit when I'm wrong, and I will admit that I think I was pretty hesitant to the idea, just a new sort of thing and new materials and a sort of new thing to figure out. But I was wrong. It was great, and the kids did really, and now we have the clipboards and things, so it's a pretty easy thing to do. And also the mayor's office, it wasn't too much for, I talked to Josh, and so, because it didn't make sense for them to go down in Parks and Rec and see me, so I did ask if we could like leave the little basket of prizes. And so she just has to kind of update the volunteers that that's a thing. We only had 2 people that filled it out and brought it in, but that's still nice. And yeah, it's not a huge amount of effort. And so it was really nice. And I totally think if you're up for writing those questions, I can print them out. It's an easy additional program to do.
As long as there wasn't any problems.
No
Okay.
downsides really. Yeah, it was good.
Great, okay.
And yeah, what I will say, just to add on to that Treasure Valley Artists meeting, is I think we did have 59 people in the gallery on Tuesday night. So that includes me and Cassandra and Sean as volunteers, but it was an immense amount of people. We had to get almost all the chairs off of anyway, so it was great. It was really nice. Um, we can move on. Cause our Crystal is not here. I don't know if she was still planning on being here later, but maybe Patrick or Cassandra could share.
Crystal did, so I printed out and it's in front of you all. Sorry, Basil and Emily, but she gave a recap for the Winterland Festival and the Drop and Seek events. But anyone who participated, yeah, if you want to give a little bit of an overview, maybe Sean or Crystal. Sorry, Sean or Patrick.
You go ahead.
Oh. Myself off. I have to admit, I got there, at 9 o'clock, and it was quiet. And I was thinking, we started punching out stuff. And I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a long, slow day. I was amazed at how fast it filled up and how many kids were there. And the number of kids that came over and the quality of the ornaments they made. We had one little guy who, he spent, I think, half his time at the table and made like 5 or 6 different ornaments. And Crystal did a great thing. She sat down and was talking with him. And as she was talking with him, she drew an ornament, signed it on the back, and then gave it to him. It was wonderful. It was a great, great experience. So kudos. What a great event.
Yeah, and I would add that occasionally a parent would also chip in, and that was pretty cool because the kid would see the parent actually play nice too, come along with the whole idea, and that was very encouraging to the child as well. So I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember, Sean, you might remember better. I think we estimated we had over about 250 ornaments made.
Yeah, over 200 for sure. Yeah, fantastic. Lots of participation. hope we have resources to do that again next year because it was really fun.
Yeah, and I think some of us were at the ornament making activity, and that was really fun too. I don't know how the actual ornament drop and seek went, but thank you, Cassandra, and to Crystal, who's not here, for dropping those ornaments around town.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, one other thing on the ornament drop. So the Parks Department with their budget sort of augmented the ornament drop and purchased some pieces to put out right before the parade by the Fusions Glass. And so I think there were, I can't remember, there were like 80 additional little glass ornaments that went out right before the parade. So that was kind of cool. It kind of helped advertise the parade too.
Oh, that's great. And I think it was probably a good timing this year to do it around the parade. I don't think that we've done it in the past. So that's good. I would also like to add, Lizzie would like to add that there will be no initial point gallery meeting until March. Oh, okay.
Just so
Right.
you know, it is there, not forgotten, but we don't have to meet every month.
That's fine. And then, okay, so we can move on. Thank you, everyone. To the Public Art Committee, we'll have Bobby. Cassandra is going to give us some staff updates first on Chateau Park, Linder Road, Median Public Art, which we have a awesome scale model up for. And she'll also update us on the community center, traffic boxes, and the public art master plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I did want to give the updates on some of the projects since even the Public Art Committee's meeting. So Chateau Park, the foundations have actually been poured. So those are ready to go. The fabrication is in process and we're on track for that project, probably an install in March and maybe ribbon cutting or something in April. So look forward to that. Linder Road, I'm not going to give an update on that right now because I'm going to present on the whole project in the next agenda item. The community center, I did want to talk about the community center a little bit. So the city has purchased land from West Data to build a community center. Hopefully you've seen this in some of the city news and things. And I know some of you have already had some questions about, is there going to be art? And so we are, or Parks is contracting Stephanie Inman to do some design work to look at various opportunities, like three plus opportunities for different public art things that could go in there to try to get that to be a little bit more artist-led than the architects-led, but along with that, sort of thinking about Settlers Park, theming and identity sort of things, maybe the history or agriculture of the site, and to sort of just make some parameters around like what projects could be. One of the projects would likely be something that she would then complete, but some of the other ones then would be things that we could do a call to artist for. But she's just going to have some recommendations so that when they are building the facility that we can implement those, because sometimes there might be just some like leave a space for something here so that we can proactively make room for the art rather than retroactively trying to install something on something that's already done. So that's where we're at with the community center. Traffic boxes, I think I put this on here. I think you all know that they've already been installed. No other updates on that, I guess. Public art master plan. So city council gave us the $30,000 for completing a public art master plan. And in terms of my priorities and tasks this year, this is probably the most important thing that I think I'm working on. So I got a scope of work from via partnership that the Arts Commission worked with before. I think maybe Commissioner Gaitan, you're probably the only person that was around at that time. Maybe you weren't even at that time. Yeah, so, but they did a really great job before and completed a document and a survey 2019-ish. And so this will be sort of an updated survey, some community engagement. But I will ask all of you, they'll give us some materials like posters and sort of things so that we can go out at various events and things in the community to try to get some input on the public art as we're writing this master plan. And they are also going to, will likely subcontract Stephanie Inman as a local thought partner to help with some of the design work and some of the thinking about future projects for the master plan. So I'm excited about this, but this is a big project. I think that's it. And I'm sorry if I stole your thunder for some of the public art updates, but some things happened since the public art committee meeting. Turn it back to Bobby for any additions, or maybe if you could talk about, the public art, some of the upcoming agenda items and what was discussed in the public art committee meeting.
Madam Chair, Cassandra, and Commissioners, yes, as Cassandra mentioned, we had a busy year last year, and we're continuing to work hard in all these projects that are in the works. Yeah, we had a couple recommendations that we'll be discussing here in the new business section. Two recommendations to purchase some artwork, a 2D City Hall artwork and also a mural artwork. Both are beautiful, and we'll be recommending something here in a bit. Other than that, I'll pass that back to you, Madam Chair.
Okay, great. And then I think we'll look at this scale model.
Yes, as many of you saw when you're walking in, the scale models here, so maybe you don't have to sit in your seat. You could come up and check it out if you haven't checked it out, or if you did, then you can stay seated. I have a couple of images and we'll talk about this. So I'll just go back over the process a little bit to remind everyone how we got to be here. The Public Art Committee looked at the roster and selected 3 local artists that are on the Parks Identity and Theming and Public Art roster to submit project proposals for this. And we received proposals from Ken McCall, Trademark Design, and Stephanie Inman, and then a stakeholder committee met. Some of you were part of that stakeholder committee. There were also representatives from Ada County Highway District, the Planning Department, the landscape architect that's working on this project, the Arts Commission, park staff, and reviewed the presentations and unanimously selected Stephanie Inman's design. Since then, Stephanie's been working with the landscape architect, lighting engineers, and the fabricator and structural engineers in the city. And she's adapted it a little bit. So if you were in that stakeholder committee, you'll remember there was one bird that was repeated throughout. And there was a lot of feedback about getting different wing positions. And so she looked at, so each different wing position has to be like structurally engineered. And so it adds to the cost a little bit. So we ended up with, she did 3 different positions, one up, one open, one down. But we did have to cut one bird. There were initially 12 proposed. And so there's 11 here to adjust and remain in budget. But we're ready to finalize this with Mac's recommendation. So I am coming to you for approval on this project tonight. The concept, backing up just a little bit, I guess. So Linder Road construction, this is a long-term project. It's been a city priority project, and this is new construction. They're building part of it next year, but this is probably 2027 when they're actually building this. Again, kind of going back to what I just said about the community center, trying to proactively plan for the artwork now rather than retroactively just putting something in, which has been helpful because if we want to light the piece, for example, we're planning for that now. So we've got the engineering to like make the conduit go out to the median so that we can light the artwork, and working with the landscape architect on the project to integrate the artwork with the landscape plans that go out. So really excited about this project. I think I've been working on it now for at least maybe 2 years. And it's going to be installed in 2027. So long-term project. But the concept is really great. So thinking about Linder Road, it's like going to be like the longest contiguous north-south corridor. Goes all the way from like out at Initial Point and the Oahes all the way to the Boise River. So this will be an important corridor for the city. And the Birds of Prey is also out there around the Oahes. So she really tied into that Birds of Prey theme. So I'll just read what she wrote, even though I know you can see it on the screen. Safe Passage, which is the title of her work, captures the natural rhythm of the birds of prey. The majestic creatures soar and hunt with the warm air currents rising from the canyon floor, navigating updrafts and crevices. From low rivers to high canyons and arid deserts, the Snake River area boasts the highest concentration of nesting birds of prey in North America. Creating birds of prey from swooping sheets of aluminum, this installation symbolizes their journey and the story of safe passage. So here's some of the drawing sketches with the wings up, wings out, and wings down positions. And these will range from, range around 6 feet high. The top of the wings will go a little bit higher. And the bottom part is it's like a survey stick, thinking about Initial Point that they're on. So bird shape, she has the scale models resulting in the swooping bird design. The beak is distinctive to the birds of prey. There's the hooded eye, and the notches on the base and the survey equipment. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. The body is aluminum and the base is a Corten steel. And it should be interesting from a vehicle level from either direction. Oh, it has drainage holes is another feature that's, you can see the drainage holes so that there's not water that gets stuck in there and damages the piece. And they mimic the movement of a bird. So one thing that was also brought up in the stakeholder committee is that birds of prey don't often like flock together. They're usually kind of singular. So another thing about the up, open and down position, and you might think about this, maybe it's the same bird that's kind of like different points in time. So it could be interpreted as a bird in motion, or it might be interpreted as multiple birds. And the colors reference canyons, tall grasses, and rivers. And the birds will be at the 3 different heights. I know that this is hard to see, but this is the elevation plan sketch. So this is the whole median, which I think is about 300 feet long. And I think that's my last slide. And if you didn't see, the model's over here. So any questions or comments on this? This is a big project, so I'm excited to hopefully move this forward.
Madam Chair, Cassandra, I was just wondering as I looked at this, I couldn't remember from the review that I was part of. Will these be lit at all at night?
That is a great question. Thank you so much for asking that. So we have been working with the lighting. Plans are for them to be lit, and the lighting needs to come out of the landscaping package. So we are submitting that, and they should be lit. The plan currently is to light them from 2 sides, kind of going up, and also in the direction of the traffic. So I'm going to step away from the microphone. So sorry, Vasily and Emily can't hear me, but I'm going to point on the diagram. Great question. Thanks.
Yeah, I was just imagining this because it looks much better than I thought it was. So kudos to the artists. But then I started thinking, are they going to be able to see this at night? Because I think that would be real, just make it that much elevated, even a step up. So thank you.
Yes, thanks. And it has been a little bit of an effort to make sure like an electrical conduit goes out there and it becomes part of the planning. So yes.
Okay, I think it's very exciting. Looks great. If nobody has any more comments, do we have a recommendation? I think
The next step is I'm still kind of negotiating the agreement, but the agreement's going to go to city council. So hoping that the design with max approval, then this goes to council.
Oh, okay. So it's specifically a recommendation on the design.
Design and yeah, any other questions or anything about the project, but Assuming Mac doesn't have any questions, then council probably won't.
Great. Yeah, I think she's worked really hard to answer everybody's questions and concerns. I feel like it's been through, yeah, a lot of public, yeah, opinion and scrutiny.
Madam Chair, this is Bobby. I recommend the Stephanie Inman Linder Road Medium Public Art that she presented, that we heard today. It looks and sounds wonderful, and we recommend it to City Council.
All right, is that good? Okay, and do we have a second on that?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I second.
Perfect, thank you, Patrick. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? Vasil vote?
I did, yes. I
Thank
voted
you,
aye.
Vasil. Okay, sounds great. I think that's going to be a really cool project. It'll be exciting for 2027. We'll have to wait, but okay, and then we will move on to, oh yeah, the purchase of Meridian historical themed artwork. And yeah, Cassie will probably give us a presentation on that.
I might have done those out of order. Let's see.
Okay.
Start name. Okay. So these two agenda items coming up are for purchases with MAPS funds. So one of them is for Claire Remsburg's 3 pieces, and the Public Art Committee looked at these, and they're really spectacular because they are so specific to Meridian. You have the Zamzows Mill, you have farming and agriculture, you have the cherry orchards. There's the indigenous, they are not teepees. Claire Remsburg did a lot of research about the historically accurate, their wiki ups in the area. She went even to the state archives and did research on that. And then there's also the dual silo structure and thinking about the railroads. So they felt very Meridian specific and sort of important to Meridian. And so Public Art Committee recommended to acquire these for the city and install them at City Hall. And no, go back. Okay. The only thing remaining, there's some homework for the Public Art Committee. They need to come up with recommended locations. The mayor's okay with this moving forward, but wants to know where these pieces are going. So probably location 1 and location 2. And if any of the Arts Commission has recommended locations, that'd be good. So, but plan is to hang these somewhere at City Hall and put the label information and everything on there, and to purchase these pieces. So any questions or comments, but otherwise looking for Mac's approval to move forward with this.
Madam Chair and Cassandra and Commissioners, the pieces are absolutely exquisite. Claire is a very, very talented artist, and she is so thorough in her research. She's just really thorough. They're beautiful pieces. The thing that concerns me, because I always have to be concerned about something, is we're going to spend a whole lot of money on these things, and these things are not small. How much is going to be allotted for framing, which is not $19 a foot? It's expensive, and these things are huge. Just a thought.
What size are they?
I thought I had added the dimensions, so I guess I did on my other PowerPoint, but didn't save. This one is the largest one, and it's 24 by 50, and I can't believe I can remember the specific numbers off the top of my head, but I reached out to her this afternoon for dimensions because I thought that question might come up. So this one is 24 by 50, and these two, that square one is 17 by 17, so that one's a little smaller. And then the other one I want to say is like 17 by 30.
They're
So
not
we
huge,
could
but
put them in a hallway or something like that if we had to, right? Wouldn't be so big that you can't see it if it's in a hallway.
Cassandra, these are painted on wood panels?
Madam Chair and
canvases?
Commissioner Gaitan, these are oil on canvas, and they're about 1.5 inches deep stretcher on the frames. And from my previous framing experience, they, yes, would be some amount to frame, and it's hard to sometimes ballpark, but I will anyway. Probably looking at maybe 250 for the largest one, 17 by 17 inch one, maybe $150 to frame.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, Cassandra, et cetera, do the frames for these which are unique, do the frames have to match?
So the other artworks in City Hall are actually all framed in the same. So yes, we'd probably go with the same. And I believe that Meg Glasgow from Finer Frames did the framing for the others. So we would use the same framer and same framing materials.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just Madam Chair, Cassandra, did you say that there's do they have an idea where these would be exhibited, or is that something who will come up with or make that decision?
So, commissioners, Patrick, we have been given the homework on the Public Art Committee, but you're welcome to give input to just walk around City Hall and find a good space for these. So if you want input, you can have input on where they go. But we need to have a specific space for where we want these to hang. We haven't found it yet, but we'll discuss that at our meeting next week, probably. Okay, any other questions? Or do we want to move forward with a recommendation to purchase these?
And along with Commissioner Taylor's comment, so this is a not to exceed purchase for the artwork. And assuming that the framing costs, Emily, please correct me if I'm wrong, could they, although it's not part of the agenda, also approve additional framing costs under the amount of like $800?
Oh. That's a yes.
I think that's reasonable, but Emily can chime in if that's not okay. I'll double check if she isn't able to be at the meeting at the moment. We can check.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I'd make a motion, because I think these are amazing, that we approve the purchase of these 3 pieces, and if approved, the framing costs, and I would say, not to exceed $1,000.
All right, do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Sean. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, any opposed? All right, thank you. We have recommended that. We can move on, I think, to the next one.
This one is, oh, sorry, this one is the mural that was created at the community art party. The Public Art Committee, and we had some proposed locations for the other ones, but the exterior locations presented a lot of problems. And so we just couldn't come up with a solution to some of those, like wood panels on the outside of buildings sort of issues. And so the only interior one that really has a large enough wall that we could identify was for Laurel Rouse piece that's could go over at home court, and fair price for murals. I looked at several other cities. We had been paying a bit less, but inflation and things, this $25 a square foot is probably still on the lower end. But that would be $1,600 for the 8-by-8 foot mural. And this is unfinished. She definitely wants to come and finish her piece before it goes on display. The artist, she's very particular and wants to have like very clean edges and things. So she'd be responsible for installation, but I also checked with our Parks Department, and I think they can help with some of those framing logistics to get that up.
Madam Chair and Commissioners and Cassandra, is this the, what is the medium? Is this on board, on canvas?
It's acrylic paint on wood panels. And they
I-
are quite heavy, which is why I talked to the Parks Department about the installation needs.
What's the thickness of them?
Mm, half inch or not 3/4, probably half inch, I think. I don't think they were 3/4, but in there.
The thing that I worry about, and as you know, I have to worry about a lot of things all the time. These are going to get, if it's anything like Meridian Senior Center, which it really isn't, but it sort of is, there's going to be a lot of wear and tear. Is there going to be some sort of a protective coating on these? Because if it's acrylic, it's going to get really kind of schnutzy looking. With people are going to touch it and they're going to rub against it. And I don't want, it's a beautiful piece and Laurel is very, very particular. And I want that particularness to be protected. Are there any measures being taken, like a sheet of acrylic over it? Because this can be a hot mess in a hot minute.
I think I can ask the artist to do a varnish on it I'm not sure if we want to go, it would be a big sheet. I don't even think yeah, that would add a considerable expense to have an acrylic sheet, but a varnish, yeah.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Do we have a recommendation to purchase Laurel's piece for 1,600?
Madam Chair and Commissioners and Cassandra, I so recommend with the addition that measures be taken by the artist to protect the surface of the art.
All right. Thank you, Lizzie. Do we have a second?
Madam Chair, and just for the record, I want to repeat Lizzie's motion with just so it's on, because I don't think it really quite went into the mic, that it was moved that we purchase this with the making sure that the artist has a protective surface on it.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a second?
Madam Chair, this is Bobby. I second.
Thank you, Bobby. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any opposed? Thank you. And thank you, Cassandra. All right. Yeah, we can just give a quick update on upcoming commissioner seats that are expiring. I think there's 2. Is there 3? Okay, there's 3.
Sorry, Madam Chair and Commissioners. There are 3 seats expiring, and I do apologize a little bit. I know the city sent out a notice that we are advertising for a seat. I kind of hoped they would wait until after this meeting.
Oh, great. Perfect.
So if you don't mind, I'll just give the update. The seats that are
Perfect.
expiring are Commissioner O'Leary's, Commissioner Gaitan's, and Commissioner Ivanov's. And Patrick and Bobby have both said that they plan on reapplying. And Vasily, I don't know if you want to say something.
Yeah, I can do that. I will not be reapplying due to life and work and everything in between. I've gotten quite busy and feel I just can't commit to another term. It has been an amazing experience. It's been so great getting to know you all and to be involved with the Arts Committee, but I will not be continuing past the end of February.
And he's still going to host the exhibit next month.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Vasil. It's been so awesome getting to know you. I appreciate all that you've done. And I'm excited you'll still be at the show next month. Yeah, so one open seat and the city is advertising for it, but I guess if anybody knows anybody who would be a good fit, encourage them to apply, right? But yeah, up next and last but not least, we have our 2025 Meridian Arts Commission Chair and Vice Chair election. So, without further ado, the next order of business is election of officers. Meridian City Code directs us to hold elections at the first meeting of each calendar year. Our bylaws state that officers of the commission shall include the commission chair and commission vice chair. Our bylaws also state that our current vice chair is automatically nominated for the office of chair. So me, Brecken Bird, am the current vice chair. I'm nominated automatically for this chair seat. I will now take any other nominations from the floor for the office of chair.
Not even possible.
Okay. Okay, seeing none, the nominations for chair are now closed. I will now take nominations from the floor for the office of vice chair. And I would like to nominate Bridget King for vice chair. Let's see. Yeah, anyone else have a nomination? Okay, seeing none, the nominations for vice chair are now closed.
Madam Chair, do you want to read the statement?
Oh, Bridget's, yeah. Okay, and then Bridget. Yeah, do you want that before the rest of it?
I think it's a nomination acceptance.
Oh, it's a
so it's not-
okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm here. All right. This is from Bridget. She couldn't be here with us today, so she wrote this nomination acceptance, and I'll read it for you now. She said, "Hey everyone, I apologize for being absent at today's meeting, but I just want to take a minute to express my gratitude for being considered for the vice president position on this amazing arts commission. It's truly an honor. A huge thank you to all of you who have shared your passion and dedication to the arts. We all know that art is not just about expression, it's about connection, understanding, and bringing people together. You have all demonstrated this mindset so thoroughly, and I have learned so much from you and your dedication and volunteering this past year. I look forward to spending more time with each of you as we promote the arts in 2025. Thank you once again for this incredible consideration. I look forward to another wonderful year of serving on the Arts Commission, Bridget King." So very well worded as usual. And we miss Bridget today, but we're happy she could be here in the form of her words. So yeah, I guess I'll move on to this next bit. Kate, I propose that we vote on these nominations as a slate and by acclamation. Since both nominees are running unopposed, is there a motion to elect me, Breckenbird, as chair and vice chair, and Bridget King as vice chair for this year?
I so
Second.
propose.
Is it a motion? Yeah, it's a motion.
I so move.
Thank you, Sean.
Wonderful.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Okay, hearing none, the motion carries. Congratulations to our new chair, myself, and our vice chair, Bridget King. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
I'm really excited. It's going to be a fun time. So,
Congratulations to us for having you too.
oh, thanks, Sean.
Wonderful.
All right. Great meeting you guys. The next meeting will be February 13th, 2025. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Commissioners, I move that we adjourn, but before we do that, I'd like to, as a public service announcement, announce that the state of Idaho is sending 108 firefighters and 25 fire trucks to the Los Angeles catastrophe.
Thanks, Lizzie. Yeah, do we have a second?
Second.
Great. Do we have to have it all in favor for adjournment? Yeah. Okay, all in favor.
Aye.
And the meeting is adjourned.